I'm sorry guys for the delay. I think we had some little bit of technical issues. So I hope everybody can see the screen, and this session is being recorded. In case if you have any questions, please do type in, and we can certainly answer those questions for you. Okay. Again, thank you everybody for joining for this session. Today we are going to talk about our AEM Eloqua connector, and why we have built it and how this is going to be useful for customers and the typical use cases, and then we'll open up for Q&A. Let's look at the agenda overall. So as you could see on the screen, now we have put together some business context on what are the problem areas, what we have seen with the customers, and what we are trying to address, and how we did map these problems, how we took these problems into our lab, and how we built the product, and so we're going to look at that mapping, and then we're going to switch to a live demo. Then we will open up for Q&A. Taking a step back here, we are looking at the current trends in the digital transformation. Way back in the early 90s, the website is primarily meant for it to be a reactive mode. What it means is when there are some changes, those have to go manually. Somebody goes into the website and make those changes, and if the business or IT thinks that there should be some changes, those changes are made to the site and published. And fast forward into 2000s, and that became a little bit more personalized, but the personalization is happening more with as a conditional base. So if the customer is logged into the portal, then you're delivering some personalized content. If not, the generic content. So that's a conditional based. But the current trend and predictive into the future, it's going to be more predictive and your AI powered solutions, so that whether you can identify the customer or the visitor or not, you'll be able to deliver the right content to the right audience at the right time. So our connector is also built along the same lines to help you, the clients, to deliver the same, that is to achieve the dream of predictive AI powered content to your audience, so that you can deliver the right content to the right audience at the right time, to convert them into customers or to improve the customer satisfaction. So this is where the current trend is. This is how you'll be able to retain the customers and be able to build better experience for the customers. But how do you do it? There are a lot of you know talking. The theory is much easier, right? But when it comes to the delivery, how you deliver the end product, that's where the challenge is. As there are two pieces here, obviously the business has its own challenges on the functionalities, and of course they rely on the IT to deliver these functionalities. Let's look at the current typical business problems or marketing challenges, what every business unit goes through. One is they're going to ultimately, the purpose of a website is to generate more leads. That's for the marketer's perspective, and how they can deliver personalized content so that they could get more customer satisfaction and to convert more leads. But at the same time, for them to achieve that, they do campaigns through emails, through social, through AdWords and whatnot, paid advertising, display advertising, to get people to the site. But as a part of that, obviously email campaign is really big. For the email campaigns, obviously there are a lot of emails that goes through day in and day out, and how do they centralize these assets as in one single place, so that when they need to run campaigns, they don't need to look for 10 different places. So that's another challenge that typically business units will have. And other challenges would be how, as a marketer, getting all the lead information is critical, but also protecting the lead information from being abused is also equally important. Otherwise, they'll end up getting sued by customers and you know, different nonprofit arcs if you end up misusing the data, the lead data that you collected. So you have to adhere by strict privacy laws, especially after the GDPR privacy laws that came in. Uh, they need to adapt, especially in Europe. It's really, really critical that you have to adapt to GDPR policies, and in US also there are equally important privacy laws out there. And for marketers challenges, how do they achieve these privacy law compliance without breaking their budget for changing on the websites? So these are the main business challenges that typically all the business units would have. Now, for these businesses, these challenges would translate into IT challenges, obviously, because the marketing business depend on IT to deliver whatever the business wants. That's what the IT primary functionality is, to support the marketing. Now, the typical IT challenges would be, obviously they're going to look at how they can automate certain things which should be coming repetitively from the marketing department, like changes to the site, also changes to any repetitive tasks that would be coming their way, and also how can they deliver the end-to-end targeted experience that they're expecting for the customers. So these are one of the biggest challenges for IT. And also for to make your marketers effective, you need to help them with the right platforms and right tools so that your marketing team would be effective. So the challenge for IT is how can we provide this centralized place for the marketers so that they could be efficient when they run these campaigns. So these are the typical IT challenges that they go through. And if they now we taking these business challenges, and of course to our goal is to help IT to automate most of these processes, whatever the business challenges are. So we took some of these business challenges and put them into three different criteria. What are the most important for the business units based on our experience with these different working with different clients. The we categorize into three different major challenges that marketers are having, and we try to identify the solution. So by looking at the business challenges, so the three main challenges we identified were essentially the assets duplication. Whenever the marketer wants to run a campaign, either they will be downloading these images, PDFs, videos from either AEM DAM or from shared network drives like box.com, Dropbox, and then you upload them to Eloqua, then use these assets in Eloqua in their email campaigns. But that's a tedious process, obviously, because you have to download, you need to remember where you're downloading from, and now you need to remember the version of the asset that you're using in Eloqua, and any changes, any last minute changes or any changes to the asset or to the image to the PDF. Now you have to do the same thing. You have to go back to the DAM, you have to download it, then you have to come to Eloqua, re-upload it, then go to email, change the image to the new image or to the new PDF. So this is a really painful process, and there are a lot of mistakes, human errors happen because of this extensive manual process that happens. So our goal is to reduce this duplication of the assets, and also to help marketers to be efficient. So another disconnect that what we have seen is these lead gen forms that they're on the most of the websites. Either there are two ways of doing it. Typically for Eloqua lead gen forms, either the marketer, sorry, the IT typically, the two ways that typically we have seen customers doing it. One, copying and pasting Eloqua form code into an iframe or into a direct HTML code. That's one way that customers are doing. And second way is they create a generic form in AEM, and then through the API call they post it to Eloqua form. But both processes have challenges. That is, when there is some change to the Eloqua form. Now, how do marketers make sure that the new forms are updated on the website? Typically, they email the form code to the developers. They go and put it into the website, which is again that has to go through the process and then the publish the go live dates. It has to match with the go live dates. That's really a long process for a marketer to make any small changes. And if the form is developed within AEM and mapping through APIs, that's even a bigger risk, because any changes that needs to be thoroughly tested and a lot of IT time is involved. So this is where we see marketers have big challenge. And finally, when a marketer runs a campaign, the email is personalized to the audience, but when as a user I click through the link, I may be landing on a Eloqua landing page which may be still personalized, but the moment when I navigate away to the main site, to the main site, obviously that personalization is lost because I'm no longer hosted in Eloqua. So coming to the AEM site, that personalization is completely lost. So these are the three major challenges that what we have seen with the customers using Eloqua as a standalone, and integrating that with the AEM sites has been a challenge, because you need to make sure that both of them talk to each other, and you need to have business knowledge on both sides and understand the technical sides of both sides. Then building all these integrations, that takes forever. Our connector helps these business challenges to be addressed properly, and with a few minutes of installation, these are all addressed right away. So let's look at the features what we have developed for this connector. So one is the assets integration. As we looked at the challenge being the duplication of the assets. Now with our assets integration, you can have all your images, videos, PDFs, everything in AEM DAM, and be able to directly pull these assets into Eloqua. That is, with our connector, you just drag and drop the assets into Eloqua as if you are in your native AEM interface. So that would help marketers tremendously, so that they don't need to download from DAM, re-upload into Eloqua, then come to open the email, then insert the image. So that's all tedious process is completely eliminated. Now, the second major feature is the forms integration. As we already discussed on the marketing disconnect with the forms, now with the forms integration, with just one click of a component, drag and drop onto the AEM page, you just give the form ID in AEM page, and boom, that will get the complete form from Eloqua into AEM, and any future changes to the form, the marketers can independently do it within Eloqua without any help from AEM developers or AEM support team. So that would give more independence to marketers and be able to be more efficient for them in the marketing campaigns what they do. And these forms can be simple little forms with heavy JavaScript conditional forms, or could be progressive forms. Our connector supports all these types of forms. And finally, um, last but not the least, the personalization. As we just talked about the email campaigns, when the email campaigns were run with the personalization in place, and when the user goes onto the AEM site, that personalization is lost. So because that personalization is lost, then there is a big disconnect, because now you cannot retarget the user based on the clicks within the email, because you don't know, the AEM site doesn't know the preferences of what the marketing preferences which are stored in Eloqua. So with our personalization part of the connector, it goes and talks to Eloqua, gets the profile information from Eloqua, and then delivers the personalized content onto the AEM site. So these are the three major features of the connector. Before we go to demo, any questions here? Okay, I see a couple of questions, but let's hold off those questions till the end of the demo. Let's start with the demo then. Pankaj, let me make you the presenter, and if you could start with the demo. But before I transition it to Pankaj, so in this demo, we are going to look at these three major features. One, the asset centralization, that is have these assets in AEM and then use them seamlessly in Eloqua. And two, how we're integrating Eloqua forms into AEM. And finally, how you can personalize the content in AEM based on the preferences from Eloqua profile. Okay, so let me Pankaj, let me make you the presenter. Pankaj, are you there?
Yes, Kiran, I'm sharing my screen now.
Okay, great. Okay, so as we discussed, the first part of the demo is about the centralization of the assets. So in any email campaign, as we just talked about, the images are typically inserted from Eloqua image browser. Now with this integration, you don't need to download from DAM, upload into Eloqua, then browse for the asset. That's everything. Those all things are removed, are eliminated. You simply drag and drop our connector as just like as an image, and from there you select the asset directly from DAM, and insert here. So that's what Pankaj is now going to demo. Pankaj, please continue.
Sure, Kiran.
So this is the email template. That's what it is there. And when you insert, now that is a connector that what we have built. Similarly, just like you drag and drop an image, you drag and drop the connector placeholder. If you need to insert an image, so that's what you just drag and drop and then click on it, double click on it. That would open the DAM interface directly, okay, without you leaving Eloqua. So the interface, what you're seeing here is a DAM interface. Again, this page is a small with some dummy page that what we have built. This page can be customized to your needs, but by default, it shows you all the folder structure from DAM. Either you can navigate from using the folder structure, or you can search using the keywords. So there's keywords, since your DAM is enabled by the metadata all the right metadata tagging. So the search would work just as if you're in your dam, because you are in the dam automatically. So that's one of the best things here, because when you download from dam and put it into Eloqua, how are you going to search for assets over a period of time? Then you need to maintain the tagging at all places, so it's just going to be really, really tedious. So now by centralizing all these assets in them and being able to access them seamlessly from Eloqua, that's a big win for marketers. Uh, so you can either search, and you can also browse through and select an image or a PDF, a video, and directly insert as if you are in Eloqua, which is you are already in Eloqua. So you don't see marketers don't need to switch to different interface or anything. So right now you are within Eloqua, your marketers are within Eloqua. You just insert the image, like you can click on it once you select the asset, then click on insert asset, and that would insert that image into your email, and that's it. So as you could see, the image is now inserted in there. Pankaj, can you move the asset to the right? Maybe you can delete. I think, yeah, that might be better. So now this image is coming from AEM dam directly. You can resize the image. You can set it to however whatever the dimensions that you want. That's the AEM, the asset in the dam will not be impacted because of this resize here. This is strictly within Eloqua only, and that's another beauty of this connector. So in case if there are any changes to the asset, then all you have to do is update your image in DAM. But let's look at this first. This is how this image is inserted in DAM from without leaving Eloqua. So now let's look at on. Well, before we move forward, any questions here on the how this image is coming into DAM, sorry, coming into Eloqua? Any questions here? Okay. The question is this published to is this connected to publish dam or other dam? It is connected to the publish dam, I believe. Pankaj is
Yes,
the
Kiran,
publish
that's right.
instance, right?
Yes, so Eloqua connects to publish them. Yes.
Okay, perfect. I hope that answers your question and whether it's a published dam or the other dam. And the other question is the connector available for public use or testing? No, it's not for public use, but if there is any POC that needs to happen, we can certainly work with you, and certainly can make the POC available for you. And but this is not available for public use, because we work with the client, we provide all the details, and for you, because that's a process that we will help you setting it up, and probably it may take a day or so. Okay. I think what if others unpublish an image? Pankaj, what happens if others unpublishes an image?
Yes, Kiran, this image will be deleted.
Okay, so the image will be deleted, and it will have, so when the one thing is, the others won't unpublish while while you're sending, while creating these email campaigns. That's typically unlikely. So but when in case from the time the image is inserted in here, and before the campaign goes out, if somebody unpublishes by mistake, obviously that will go as a blank image there. But typically that's not how companies work. They're, unless it's a mistake that somebody intentionally goes and unpublishes the asset, that's the only issue. But I don't see that would be an issue. But once the email campaign goes out, then obviously there is no issue. But before the email campaign goes out, that may be an issue, which is showing as a blank image. blank placeholder there. But like I said, unless somebody intentionally unpublishes it, that that's not an issue. Okay. Okay, great. These are all good questions. Pankaj, please. Okay, now what we're going to show here is now this image is inserted here. Let's look at how easy it is for us to see the changes to the asset. Very lot of cases, lot of marketing campaigns. Uh, Once the campaigns are created, typically there will always be some last minute changes to the asset or to the content. The changing the content inside Eloqua, it's much easier. But now changing an asset, it's a process because it comes from the creative teams. Now the creative teams typically will have a process to upload the asset to DAM. So as marketers, they need to go to DAM, they need to download the asset and then re-upload to Eloqua, then run the campaign, which is what typical process is. But now with our connector, those issues are eliminated because the moment you make any change in DAM, that would automatically reflect here. So let's look at how that is achieved. Pankaj, can you change this asset in DAM, and let's look at
Okay.
how
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
changed.
So I'll show with the first image. I have another copy of this first image where I converted this image into a black and white image.
Hmm.
So I'm going to replace this image in DAM with the respective black and white image,
Hmm.
and the image will reflect here the updated one.
Okay, perfect.
Let me just save it. I'll just go to DAM. Can you see my DAM or you don't?
No, we don't.
Okay, I think I need to switch this screen. Just a minute.
Mm.
Okay, I guess
Okay,
you can
we
see
can
it.
see it now.
Okay, cool. So this is the image, a home construction V1, which is being, let me open this image. This is the image which is being used on the email right
Hmm.
now. I'm going to replace this with a black and white version of it.
Hmm.
So I have a local copy of this image right here, which is a black and white version. And then I'm going to replace.
To upload.
So it asks me for option like cancel, keep both, create the version, replace. I'll say, okay, I want to replace this image.
Hmm.
And now in the AEM, let me open this image again. And you can see the image is black and white now.
Hmm. Okay.
And I'll
But
just,
this is not yet published. I think you need to publish,
no, yeah,
right?
yeah, I need to republish it. So I will select this image and I'll say publish.
Hmm.
Now this image has been published. Let me go back to Eloqua. And what I'll do, I'll just to show, I'll reload this window.
Okay. So when you simply reload, now it's going to show the replaced image.
Okay, and now it shows the black and white image. You can see it here.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you, Pankaj. As you guys could see, now any changes to this asset is automatically reflected in Eloqua without you making any changes or any download and upload from DAM to Eloqua. So that's the major advantage. This is where a lot of marketers would save tons of money, some tons of time essentially, which is time is money, obviously. This will help them tremendously in making them more efficient. Okay. Any questions here on this feature before we move on to the next feature, which is the forms integration? Okay, I think Pankaj, you can move on to the forms integration.
Sure, Kiran. So I'm going to open a form here, which I created in Eloqua, and I will then show how we can put that form in AEM. So this is a form which I created in Eloqua, like first name, last name, email address, company, and a multi-checkbox field. Now I'm going to, let me go to AEM, and I'm going to sites now. So this is the page which I already opened here, landing page. So this is a page and it's a process. I'm going to drag a form component here. So I go to sidekick and this is the component, Eloqua form component. I just drag this component in this process. And the ID of my form, it was 93. So I'm going to edit the dialog here. And it is asking me like, what is your form and landing page ID? So I'm going to say 93. And there's a checkbox which says, is the landing page ID? No, it's not, it's a form ID. I'm going to say okay. And then it's gonna show me the form right here.
Okay. As you could see, the form is directly pulled in from Eloqua into the AEM page with just one single click, which is by giving the form ID. So that's the beauty of it. Any changes to the form here in Eloqua would automatically reflect on all the AEM pages wherever the form is used. So you don't need to manually copy and paste or any other backend integrations. It's just straightforward giving the form ID and the Eloqua form ID in here. That will automatically fetch the form, complete form. Any changes to the form in Eloqua would automatically reflect here. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to publish this page, and I will show you the published version of this form in AEM publish environment, and I will submit the form from there. So I go here and I say publish the page, and the page is published. And now I'll go to the publish environment of AEM. And you see the form here. So I'm going to submit this form with some data. So and I'm going to submit the form now. When I submit the form, it takes me to a thank you page. And now let me go back to Eloqua so that I can show you the submitted data.
And this is all can be customized. So how you want to navigate to the thank you page or another page, so that's all up to you. And as you could see here, all the data is coming in Eloqua from Eloqua directly. So the data, the lead information is saved into Eloqua directly without any stops in AEM or anywhere else. So the data is saved in only one place, which is Eloqua, and that is what you need to make sure that you are in compliance with all the GDPR laws and the other privacy laws, because you cannot have the lead information shared through emails or not on AEM nodes or cannot be anywhere else. So this is one of the important things. And any changes to the form here would automatically reflect onto your AEM pages without you doing anything. So that's the most important feature. So any questions here? Okay, I think no questions, Pankaj, on the forms, which is good. Again, the forms can be simple forms or could be complex conditional forms, which is what typically are used on the landing pages, or could be progressive forms, because a lot of companies use progressive lead gen forms, which are really, really critical for many companies. So the progressive forms are also automatically um, are inserted here and without making any extra efforts. Okay, so now knowing that the forms integration demo is also done, let's look at the final feature, which is personalization. This is something that everybody talks about, but very little is done at most of the companies. That the personalization to some degree is done, okay, but to what degree, that only God knows, because many people, many companies say that they have some ways of doing personalization to some extent. Either it could be a simple after login, they can greet by name or by conditionals, but the more advanced personalization, including retargeting, that's where the beauty of AEM combined with Eloqua is there. And also, of course, you could use Target also, you could use some other external platforms, but everything can be also driven through this connector as well. So that's where the main advantage with our connector. So let's look at how personalization is done here. Anytime when you run email campaigns, the email campaigns are run with targeted content to the individual who is receiving the email. Assuming that I got the email from the company from Top Builder, which is what we are going to show the demo here. The Top Builder is a commercial construction equipment supply company that does supply to both commercial construction companies as well residential construction companies. And if when the campaign is sent out by Top Builder with their new products and new features within their products, now they may send out with one campaign to both residential construction companies as well the commercial construction companies. But when based on the Eloqua profile is what tells me that whether I'm a residential construction company employee or whether I'm working for a commercial construction company, so that the Eloqua would send out the specific emails with specific images, specific content with the targeted content to them. So now once the email is sent out, obviously now which is a targeted content, now you need to when me as a receiving recipient of the email, when I see that is interesting for me, there may be a click to call action, there may be a button to that takes me to the landing page. And but now we need to make sure that if you are landing on the AEM page, instead of directing them to a generic page, you need to personalize, and so that's where the connector would come in. Okay, let's look at how this email goes out and how the personalization is done. So Pankaj, can you show that email example? I mean, for the personalization, do you have that email or do you going to use the links?
I have the email.
Okay, great. So let's look at that email that went out.
So we are kind of mocking the email feature here because we have this sandbox environment, and this environment doesn't allow us to send emails to actual like the correct email addresses.
Okay, so we are mimicking the email send option. Um, so this is the email that we sent. So now this is going for a residential construction company. So the Top Builder sends out a campaign, and but me, this Lee, who is a employee of a residential construction company, he gets the email, and then there is a CTA button. Then click here. So if that link is clicked, now let's look at what happened. But before you click on the link, Pankaj, can you show? Oh, you already
Then I
clicked
clicked,
on it. Okay.
I clicked on it.
Okay. So
Yeah, I could have
as
shown
you
I could have shown the regular one.
Okay, that's okay for now. So when you click on when this because this is a residential construction company employee, now the Top Builder wants to target uh, them with specific content related to the residential construction services only. That's how you can entice your audience to engage more with your site and be able to convert eventually. So here, because this is AEM page, but still because of this integration, AEM site knows that this is based on Eloqua profile, that this is a residential construction company employee, and displays you can target specific sections of the site, of the page, where you can target, so that you can deliver the specific content on the site. So here we are targeting the banner and also some content at there's some section down the line, down below. But so this is section, now it says about our residential services, and it shows some picture about of a home. So this is how you're personalizing to this particular visitor. Okay, now let's look at how the behavior is for the same page. Here, the page remains the same, nothing changes. Only thing is now the new audience target audience is a commercial construction company employee. So let's look at how the content changes dynamically when a visitor comes from a commercial construction company. So this guy Steve Burrell, he is a employee of a commercial construction company. So when the email goes out, it talks about the commercial construction services, equipment services. Now, when you click on the link, obviously it takes you to the same page as the residential construction company employee, but only difference is because it knows that this particular visitor is working for a commercial construction company. Now the same page will display different content. Now this displays whole different content. Now as you could see, now the image is changed, the content is changed on the page to target more commercial construction services. And as you scroll down, now there you go, it talks about the commercial services, not about the residential construction equipment anymore, because my AEM site knows that this is a visitor from a commercial construction company, and we need to target a specific message to the audience. So this is how the personalization is achieved with our connector, with our Eloqua AEM connector. And any questions on the personalization? Okay, one question is how different it is from target. Uh, Good question. Target also allows you to personalize, and target also would allow you to get from Eloqua with we need to write some code, but that also can be done. With our product, you don't need target because it is done within AEM segments. You don't need to implement target, but you can also, if you already have target, you can use target, and you can use it along with our connector. You can target certain sections. The main difference is with target, you pay for each call to target, because for each API call you pay Adobe for each of these API calls. With our connector, there is no per call charges. It goes because it's directly going from AEM to Eloqua, so you can use both target and our connector to target certain sections specifically. It's completely up to you. But to answer your question, it can be used in conjunction with target or without target. Okay. Now I think that's the only question on the personalization, which is good. So let's. But Pankaj, anything else that you want to show on this demo?
No, okay.
Okay, great. So now any other questions anybody has? Now I want to open up for the Q&A. So there are again, to summarize to what we have discussed till now. So that there are three main features for this connector. One, the assets centralization. That is, with you centralize all your images, videos, PDFs, whatever that you're going to use in your Eloqua campaigns into DAM, one central place in AEM DAM, and access them seamlessly from Eloqua. This certainly saves a lot of time for marketers and eliminates a lot of confusion and makes them more efficient. That's saving essentially a lot of money for organizations. And number two, the forms integration with just one click. The forms can be Eloqua forms will be integrated into AEM, which saves a lot of time and also headache down the line for maintaining these forms. Any changes to the forms, because these are all lead gen forms. Sometimes you may need to replace these forms with something else, and the content might be changing. So this would be done pretty quickly with just a few minutes. We have a customer who replaced literally 1,000 forms within a week. That's how fast you can be. You can do it. This is with all the testing and everything that did take them only a week for them to replace 1,000 forms. And the beauty of this is now going forward, it doesn't even take a week because any now all the legacy code is gone, and now all the legacy code is replaced with the form connector. So it's pretty simple. Any future changes would be seamless. There is no need to involve AEM developers or IT team. Marketers can do it without any effort, without any extra effort. Okay. So finally, the personalization. So as we discussed, obviously the delivering the personalized content is really critical for the success of or I wouldn't call the success, but for better customer experience, and also to convert to convert the lead into a customer. So the better experience that we deliver, the more likely chances of converting a lead into a customer, and the better chances of keeping the customer happy. So these are all three features. Those are achieved with our connector. Okay, and now as we are talking about summarizing, so a couple of questions came in. One is this connector compatible with 6.5? Currently it is 6.4 compatible. I believe we are testing 6.5, but that should not be an issue. If you have 6.5, that will be released. You'll have the 6.5 compatible version. And also it supports from 6.0 onwards, but I bet most of the customers might have migrated to 6.3 or 6.2 and above, so it's certainly compatible 6.2 and above. Other question is, what are the competing products in the market? Very good question. There are no other competing products in the market. That's as per my understanding. So this is a unique product that we have built based on the problems that we heard from our customers, and which we took this problem statement into our lab, converted into a product, and which is what we want to present it to our customers. Any other questions? Okay, I think there are no other questions. But thank you everybody for joining this webinar. And in case if you have any additional questions, please do drop us an email, and the recording will be shared later today with everybody. In case if somebody were not able to make it, or somebody wants to review the session again, so this webinar, this recording will be available to everybody. Okay. Thank you for joining this webinar, and have a wonderful day. And thank you, Pankaj, for helping me out in this webinar.
No worries, Kiran.
Have a great day.